Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and in today's review, we're going to see if the Fret-King Esprit I is a bass worthy of a king. Let's check it out. This is the Fret-King Esprit I. It not only has an interesting shape, it also features top-shelf hardware and some really interesting electronics. Fret-King was originally a high-end boutique shop started by Trev Wilkinson, and I believe in the mid-2000s he signed the rights over to Mer Music out of South Korea. What's really interesting about this move and about Mer Music is that they also produce Deusenberg guitars, Italia guitars, and Reverend. All of those are really high-quality instruments, but the question remains, does the Fret-King Esprit I follow suit? Well, let's find out. You guys know what you need to do. Go ahead and pinch that like button so my hand can turn back to normal. Thanks. This is a really interesting instrument. Let's go over the hardware specs. First, this is featuring all Wilkinson hardware. You got Wilkinson tuners, a Wilkinson bridge, Wilkinson pickup, all Wilkinson. And these things are high quality. These are extremely precise tuners. The bridge is extremely high quality with brass saddles, and the pickup is really interesting. For those who haven't seen my unbagging video of this bass, this is a passive setup. So you have one pickup and 3 knobs. What are they? First, we have our volume control, and then we have our tone, and the third knob is a Vari-coil knob. This pickup isn't a standard Stingray style pickup. It has a little bit of a trick up its sleeve. This third control essentially dials back the front bank of magnets on the pickup and turns it into a single coil pickup. So between the Vari-coil and the tone control, Fret-King claims that you can get a lot of different tones out of this. Well, let's see if it's true. I'm going to show you guys the tone control at 100%, 50%, and all the way down, with the Vari control also at 100%, 50%, and all the way down. I'll have a helpful graphic right here to show you exactly what configuration I'm using. Well, let's get started. Not bad. Now let's dial the tone back to 50%. And let's turn the tone all the way down. Not bad. Honestly, it sounds best with the tone all the way up. I really don't know how I feel about the capacitor that they're using in the tone control. I feel like it's pretty much unusable when the tone is all the way down, but at 50% you can get some solid tone out of it. Next, let's put the Vari tone down to 50% and do it all over again. not bad. Now let's turn the tone down to 50%. And now let's turn the tone control all the way down. And now let's turn the Vari-coil all the way over to single coil mode. I'm already hearing some single coil hum, so this is definitely working. Let's check it out. I feel when the pickup is fully engaged in single coil mode, it sounds really thin compared to when it's in humbucker mode. And I personally prefer the humbucker mode a lot. Now let's turn down the tone to 50%. And now here's the tone all the way down. And finally, how does she slap? Not too bad. Next, let's check out the build quality and the design. This bass features a two-piece American alder body, a maple neck, and what appears to be a rosewood fretboard, though both the manufacturer's website and the distributor's website both don't have it listed. Now let's talk about the body shape. I think it is awesome. I think this thing looks spectacular with the body design. It's definitely out of the ordinary, but I think it's definitely a looker. And I appreciate Fret-King coming out with a bass that's not just another Fender copy. On the other side of the design spectrum, the headstock. I don't know who designed this and why this is their standard headstock across the line, but I think it's absolutely hideous. Don't get me wrong, the tuners that they're using are super high quality and great looking, but the shape of the headstock just does them no justice. I personally think the logo is way too busy and uses way too many fonts, 4 to be specific. Why do you need 4 fonts on your headstock? I also think the headstock design overall just looks completely out of place, given how the body looks, which I think is magnificent. Having a headstock that was a little bit smaller, color matched, and a little less busy in the font department would make this thing a design winner in my book. Continuing down from the headstock, the nut, neck, fretboard, and fretwork are also top notch. This is a much wider neck, more akin to a classic P bass, sitting at around 42 millimeters. So if you're looking for a thin jazz bass or Ibanez style neck, look elsewhere. The fingerboard features 22 frets, the fret ends are filed nicely, there's none poking out, and everything looks really well done in terms of craftsmanship. And honestly, I've come to expect that from this particular manufacturer, Mir Guitars, or Mur. The neck on my Reverend Fellowship is absolutely top notch. It has amazing fretwork and I really enjoy playing that instrument. Coming back to the body, I think the pickguard design is really cool, and the overall body aesthetic works really nice with this black paint. I like the raised center section and how the knobs kind of protrude into that just a little bit. I think the body design itself is very cohesive and looks great, and the thing that really ruins it is that headstock, so come on Fret-King. Now let's go over the electronics just a little bit more. As I mentioned earlier, this features a volume, a tone, and a Vari-coil, where you're able to toggle between a single coil and humbucker configuration in an analog function. It sounds really cool in concept, but honestly, it really didn't do much for me. I thought the bass sounds pretty good out of the box, but I would have much preferred an active preamp as opposed to this Vari-coil functionality. Fret-King on their website says that you can get a load of tones out of this bass, and I did not find that to be true here. Though everything about this instrument is high quality, I feel like the tones you get out of this are fairly limited. And if you're looking for something super flexible to cover all sorts of genres, you should probably look elsewhere. The last thing I wanted to bring up about Fret-King is their distributor in the US. I purchased this bass through XYZ Guitars, which is one of my favorite guitar shops off of Reverb, and they always take care of me. Joe is a great guy, and I definitely recommend shopping with him. When I received my original bass in the silver finish, it was definitely used and sold as new. Now these instruments come direct from the distributor. XYZ Guitars doesn't have any inventory on hand. So when I received this bass and saw its condition, I immediately reached out to Joe and he handled it. I was able to get a replacement instrument in a relatively timely fashion, but I'm disappointed with Fret-King that they would sell an instrument in this condition. Not only was it damaged, but there was some touch-up paint over the damaged spot. And the pickguard had its plastic removed and there was definite signs of use there. I was really disappointed with that debacle and Fret-King's turnaround time. So buyer beware. Now let's talk about the value of this bass. These can be had for around $1,000. And even though it's extremely well built and the hardware is top shelf hardware, this stuff is really solid. I'm kinda turned off a bit by the lack of versatility in the electronics. At $1,000, there's other instruments out there that will offer you way more tonal versatility, but they won't have this look. So what am I gonna rate the Fret-King Esprit I? I'm gonna go ahead and rate this bass 2 claws. Though the build quality is top notch and the hardware that they use is really great, the electronics really let this thing down. And at $1,000, I don't think you're really getting your money's worth here. That being said, the styling is unique and what they offer in the electronics department is also unique. So if you like what you heard in the sound demo, then be my guest. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the Fret-King Esprit I. And as always, until we groove again.